Spread the word and let's get it rocking. All right, guys. So today is Monday, October 18th, 2021, and it is 9:14 a.m. I'm blessed and grateful to be on this call right now with each and every single one of you. Today is going to be a great call. So I highly recommend that if you haven't gone in your group chats yet and spread the word and let anybody know what's going on, go in your group chats right now and let everybody know that Mornings with Nano is live. Type it in there, express it to them. Yo, don't miss the call, because remember, how you start the week is how the rest of your week will go. And that's very, very important. All right. So make sure you spread that word and let's get today's call started. All right. So let me just go right here. I got you guys right now. Got the page. It is right here. You need the key? All right. So today's topic is going to be a good one, right? Today, we're going to be talking about empowering leaders. Okay. And empowerment is very, very, very important. Okay, guys. And something I want to make sure that all of you guys understand is that, it's the start of a week. And usually what I tell people, all right, is, when you start a new week, I want you guys to really get in the habit of evaluating yourself. Yes, it is recording. I have it recorded on YouTube as well. So don't worry too much about it. You guys, you'll be able to see it on YouTube. So I'll record it just in case. But I always tell people, before I even get into the lesson, at the start of every week, you should have an evaluation of yourself, right? Because you see, the only way that you can improve this week is by evaluating what you did last week. So there's 3 questions that I usually ask myself, right, when I am evaluating, right? And this is just a self-evaluation for the week that you guys can do that will really help you guys out in improving your days, improving your weeks, and improving your months. Once I started to do this, my whole life changed. Like, I literally became so much of a better person, a better leader. I completely changed everything for myself because I would ask myself these 3 questions every Sunday night. Now, I know it's Monday morning. You still have some time to do it. Like, the latest I would wait is Monday morning, just in case I didn't do it Sunday night. But this is something you guys should be doing regardless of whatever business you're in, regardless of whatever company you're in, no matter what. Every single one of you guys should be evaluating yourselves no matter what, okay? Because remember, and I want you guys to write this down, you cannot track what you don't measure. All right? Remember that. You can't track what you don't measure. Okay. So if you don't measure what's going on in your life, personal life, your business, your finances, right? You can't track it, which means you can't keep, what's the word I'm looking for? You can't keep inventory of it. All right. And that's very important. And Pearl also gave it another one, right? Pearl, and that's a good one. You can actually add that to that as well, which is, as well, she said, you can't improve what you don't measure, which is the same thing. You can't improve what you don't measure, which the beautiful thing about it is, guys, that both are very true. Because once, remember, you got to track it, but you also got to be able to remember it, right? And you also got to be able to improve that area very specifically. Now, self-evaluation is easy. There's only 3 questions you got to ask yourself, right? What did you do well? All right. And when you ask yourself, what did you do well? It's basically, you can't hear on Instagram. Is that what it is? Or can you guys? All right. All right. So what did you do well? What I mean was, what did you do well from last week? All right. What did you do well last week? Second question is, what didn't you do well last week? And third question is, what improvements are you going to make this week? Right? So these are the 3 questions you want to ask yourself, all right, every single Sunday. Honestly, if you feel like you're in a bad place, you should do it every single night. Don't even wait the whole week. Do it every single night before you go to bed. Okay, what did you do well today? I did so and so and so well today. What didn't you do well today? I didn't do this and this and this today. And what improvements are you going to make today, tomorrow, the next day, the next week? You do this, guys, and it'll help you out in ways that you guys never imagined. Just this little simple trick, I could literally end the call right now, and you guys can take this and start doing this right here, and it'll be more valuable than almost anything I could teach you this week. And that's how true that is. You properly do this. You sit down and you actually sit down and you apply this information that I am teaching you guys right now. And you actually sit down and you do a true evaluation of yourself. And you ask yourself, what did you do well? And you give yourself credit for the things that you're doing well. And then you identify the things that you're not doing well. And you're true to yourself. And you be honest. You know what? I'm not going hard enough. I'm not reading enough. I'm not waking up on time. I'm not meditating every day. I'm not eating healthy. I'm not working out. You sit down and you do all of these things. All right. Because what happened is, look, I remember when I did my list, when I started doing evaluations, I noticed that my list for things that I wasn't doing well was bigger than the things that I was doing well. Think about that. So my list for things that I wasn't doing well was bigger than my list of the things I was doing well. So how am I going to have a positive week? How am I going to have a better lifestyle when I have a bigger list of things that I'm not doing well than things that I'm doing well? And you never know until you take the time to actually write it down. I promise you guys, this will be more valuable than anything that you do majority of this week. I guarantee you that. Because it'll expose you to the things you're not doing well, because now you'll be able to see it on paper. It's one thing to know it in your mind but it's another thing to see it on paper, because I knew I wasn't reading enough. I knew I wasn't waking up on time. I knew I wasn't doing this. I knew I wasn't doing that. But then it's like, you know these things, but then when you write it down and you see it on paper and you see that it's 10, 15 things that you're not doing right. Oh my God. That's when now you start to change the view of things. You start to be like, man, I need to make some changes this week. I really need to make some changes this week, because you'll expose yourself. I'm telling you, it is a game changer. And then you know what the beautiful thing is? That the third question is what improvements you're going to make. So yes, you will identify, right, the things that you're doing well, and you give yourself credit for it. Okay, you're going to identify the things you're not doing well, and you're going to hold yourself accountable for it. But the beautiful thing about it is that you right away are going to act, and you're going to improve on those things immediately. So you know you got to wake up earlier this week. You know you got to read more. You know you got to prospect more. You know you got to jump on more calls. You know you got to show more love. You know you got to pray more this week. You know the things that you got to improve on this week. So you will set a plan to do so. And man, what I tell you, and this is only a reminder, because I know some of you on these calls forget to evaluate yourselves. And I'm telling you, if there's a habit that you want to develop and there's a habit that you want to instill in your mind, this is it right here. And this is the habit that you need to install in your mind. And if you really need to change and you feel like you've been in a bad place, do it daily. Do it every night. It'll only take you 10 minutes. You guys are on your phones for hours throughout the day before you go to bed. Take 10 minutes every night before you go to bed and do a quick evaluation. Hey, All right, Madeline, what did you do well today? Okay, today I did so and so well. Boom, 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 boom. Great, Madeline. All right, Madeline, what didn't you do well today? Boom, 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 boom. Okay, great. What improvements are you going to make? You base your improvements based off of what? The things that you're not doing well. Because those are the things you got to improve in order for you to get better. When your list of things you're doing well is better, when your list of things that you're doing well is bigger than the list of things that you're not doing well, that's when you know you're headed in a positive direction. So remember that. All right. Very, very important. Okay. So that's just a quick lesson on evaluation. Okay. Because this is super important. Now, going back to our leadership topic for the month. All right. As you guys know, the whole month was dedicated to leadership. Okay. And it's something that each and every single one of you guys got to understand. Now, I want to talk about empowerment and the 3 keys to becoming an empowering leader. All right. Now, if I go back right here, all right, I'm going to use the whiteboard for this. Let's talk about what empowerment is, right? What is empowerment? All right. Let's talk about empowerment, however you want to put it, right? So empower, right? To put it in shorter words, all right, let's talk about it really quick right here. Let me delete this. Sorry about that, guys. So the definition of empower, this is important. To give someone the authority or power to do something. Okay. So if you guys think about it as a leader, all right, you got to make sure that you know how to empower your people. All right. You have to know how to give someone the authority or power to do something. All right. This is a skill set of leadership. All right. So when you empower someone, you're giving someone the power to do something. You're giving someone the power to go out there and step out of their comfort zone. You're giving someone the power to go out there and step out of their, You're giving someone the power to go out there and do things that they've never done. You're giving someone the power to go out there and, recruit their first person to study and learn the strategy on how to become a better trader. You're challenging somebody and you're empowering somebody to post their first reels, their first video, right? It's something that you do on a day-to-day basis, right? Now, there's 3 keys, okay? I'm going to go over the 3 keys to becoming an empowering leader. All right. I'm going to go over the 3 keys to becoming an empowering leader, right? Now, type a 1 in the chat box if you want to become a leader that knows how to give power to individuals so they can do something, right? If you want to become somebody that becomes really, really good at empowering people, at giving people the power to do something, type a 1 in the chat box. Because guess what? Every single one of you guys, in order for you to get to where you want to go, you're going to have to empower people to do things. Because you're going to have to empower to do things that you guys do, right? I've empowered you guys to start a morning routine, to read books, to listen to audios, to grow a closer relationship with God, okay? To journal your thoughts, to invest into yourselves, to take risk. I've empowered you guys to do that. All right? So there's 3 keys to becoming an empowering leader. Number 1 is respect. Okay. Earn the power of credibility by achieving success. You got to earn the respect first, guys. At the end of the day, this is the only way that some people will listen to you, right? Real quick, type a 2 in the chat box if you have people not join your business because you don't have enough success yet. Me too, right? You haven't had people join your business because they say, hey, have you made any money yet? Hey, have you hit a rank yet? Have you made any successful investments? Right? You haven't had people join your business because of that, right? Well, guess what? You got to understand, guys, that you got to achieve success in order for you to get respect in any business. So for some of you that haven't done anything, it's time for you guys to get off your butts and start getting to work. Because if you haven't done nothing, okay, if you don't have 7 figures in the bank and your family's not retired, you haven't done nothing. So why aren't you working? Let's talk about it. Somebody told me that this weekend and I was like, you're right. I haven't done nothing. I don't care how many people jump on Mornings with Neno. I don't care that I have this beautiful condo here in Miami. It doesn't matter how many books I've read. None of it matters. If my family's not retired, if my mom and dad don't live in that house in the Dominican Republic, retired with hundreds of thousands in their bank to spend and millions in my bank, then why should I ever stop? Then why am I chilling? Then why am I taking days off? Why? Why are you not going hard every single day? Why? You want respect? You want people to notice you? You want people to notice you? You got to get to work. You got to understand this, guys. All right? Got to get out your feelings. We got to get back to work. I don't know what has happened to some of you. I don't know what this world and what the situations in your life have done to you, but it's time to get back to work. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I know every single one of us in here on this call right now, we can all agree that we know we could be doing a lot more. We know we could be grinding a little bit harder. We know we could be reading a little bit more books. We know we could be talking to more people. We know we could be studying a lot more. We know we could be waking up a lot earlier. So what is it that has allowed us to stop doing those things? We have to make sure that we start going harder. We got to go harder. You're going through something, go harder. Your bank account doesn't look the way you want it to. Guess what? Dwelling about it is not going to do anything. Go harder. Your girlfriend, your boyfriend left you. Go harder. People left your business and they talk down on you. Go harder. You're dealing with family issues. Your mom, your dad, your people don't believe in you. Go harder. Go harder. Because look, he talks about it in the book. He says the 3 keys to becoming an empowering leader, right? And he says, he talks about what is empowerment. And he says it's giving power or authority to another person. When you empower your leaders, you increase their power to plan, think, grow, problem solve, and act. You give them the power to be more successful. There's an implication to this concept if you really think about it. You cannot give away something you don't possess yourself. You must have power to give power away. The power comes from credibility. Only after you have achieved success and influence do you have credibility. Okay, gotta understand that. So only after you have achieved success and earned influence do you have credibility. Okay, the reason why I have credibility is because I've earned my success and I've earned my influence. The only reason people take the book recommendations that I give, the recommendations on habits, all of these great things that people usually take and they run with the things that I teach them, the reason why is because why? I have the credibility. I've done things that will help us elevate to new levels, and because they've seen what it's done for me, they know that it could do the same for them. They know that. So if you haven't been able to empower people to do things in your business, is because you don't have that credibility yet. I went months without people ever listening to me when I started this business. It's funny because as I'm telling you guys this, the two individuals that trusted my mentorship before anyone else did, they're in my house right now, right? And I remember because I was making only $1,000 a month. I was making $600 to $1,000 a month. But in my eyes, right, I had already been studying the information. I was hungry for success. I knew that what I was doing worked because I was getting it from the most successful people in the business and in the industry. And what I did was I continued to share the plan. I continued to talk to people. I continued to share it. I never let the fact that people didn't want to join me stop me from sharing the opportunity with people. I never let the fact that people wanted to see success and results from me stop me from going out there. I knew that I would find people that would believe in the things that I taught. And then I found two individuals, right? And the beautiful thing about it was that they had a choice. Either go to school at 18 years old and go to school with the rest of their friends and work jobs, or trust somebody that was making $600 to $1,000 a month that had probably just a year in the industry of network marketing and run with me. And guess what they did? They ran with me, and they're six-figure earners in the industry and legends now. Their friends that went to school, they'll be graduating this year or next year, and they're going to be going and looking for jobs, and these individuals are already going to be earning six figures from the comfort of their home and their phone, and they'll be their own bosses. Look at that. But guess what, though? They earned my respect. Okay. But the only reason that they had that credibility towards me was because I went out there and did what was required of me. I went out there and did what was required of me. I did what was required of me. And it was something that made such a difference in my life. It made all the difference. It made all the difference. But I never folded. I never listened to the naysayers. Wait, bro. I never listened to the naysayers. I never listened to my mom and my dad when they told me to go get a job. I never let the relationship I was in at the time stop me from making progress. You see, some of us let the relationships that we're in stop us from growing. Some of us let what our parents say about us stop us from growing. We let the people in our lives dictate our actions because we're scared what they're going to say about us. You have to be tough to make it in this, fam. Very, very, very tough. You have to be so tough, guys. I'm telling you, if there's a business that you have to be tough in, this is it right here. Because it is a people business. And people will do things to you that you never thought would do things to you. People will tell you that they'll ride with you forever, and they'll be the first ones to leave the moment things get hard. People will look you in your face and tell you that they got your back and that you're going to run this up to the moon. People will even tell you that they're doing this for their kids, for their family. But when you sit down and really go back and think about it, they don't. And honestly, fam, in the last 4 years, I've become almost immune to the BS. You know, I remember my first heartbreak in this business. It hurt me hard. But, you know, as I see, you know, I let people prove themselves at this point. That's how you do it. You let people set the expectations. You don't set them for you. You don't set them. Let them set themselves. You got to prove yourself from now on. Because like I always teach you guys, you don't get your heart broken, you get your expectations broken. If you feel heartbreak, if you feel any kind of way about a certain situation, is because of the expectations that you set for that individual. Not because your heart physically breaks, your expectations were broken. You had a certain expectation of that person. That person told you they'll be there with you till the end. That person told you that they wouldn't fold on you, that this mission is something that they're willing to do whatever it takes. But the moment the rain came, they left. But what they forget is that they leave when it starts raining, acting like the sun is not going to shine again. They leave when it rains, acting like the sun isn't going to shine again. And that's the sad part. And look at what he says about the book, right? He says, inner success grows when you lead yourself well. It comes from the development of good character, from making the right decisions instead of the easy decisions, from putting in the work of intentional growing instead of taking life as it comes. While the outward career success gives you credibility based on what you can do, the personal growth fuels inward success, fills you up so that you have something to give from who you are. So you got to work on yourself within. This is the stuff that I tell you guys every day. You want the outward success, you need to work on yourself, inner success. The deep work every day, Monday through Sunday. No days off. There should be no days off when it comes to working on yourself. No days off. You can't afford a day off. If you're broke, you can't afford a day off. Honestly, you can't afford a day off if you're broke. If you don't have 7 figures in the bank, you can't afford a day off. If your mom and dad and your family still working, you can't afford a day off. If your kids, if your kids were all grown up right now, okay, would they be living a better life than you did? Or would they be living a subpar average life? If they're not living, if they wouldn't live a better life than you did, then guess what? You need to get back to work. You need to work harder. If your kids are not growing up in a mansion, going to private schools, eating the best foods, traveling to the best countries, you're not giving your kids a better lifestyle. You need to work harder. A lot harder. It's the truth. If your kids are not going to the top private school right now, you need to work harder. If your house is not filled with the healthiest foods, you need to work harder. I'm telling you guys the real and the real only. There needs to be a more seriousness when it comes to the inner work that you guys are doing. Think about it, guys. Look at where I'm at. Look at where I'm at. I'm 4 years in the journey, and I still have work to do. Think about that. Some of you guys have months, less than a year, 2 years doing this. You still have a lot of work to do. You know how many more presentations, how many more books you got to read, and how many more hours you got to dedicate to your inner journey before you can even get to where I'm at in this journey? You guys got a lot of work to do, family. I don't know what it is that you guys think that you've done, but yo, there's so much more work you guys have to do. A lot of work. There's still a lot of climbing we have to do. So much climbing we have to do. So stop chilling and relaxing. You need to get stronger. Listen to what he says. Listen to what he says. And then we're going to go to point number 2. He says, during my early years of my leadership career, I discovered that I had lacked credibility because I had not achieved outward success. Because of that, I learned that there was a difference between giving people power and giving them authority. I had no power. The only things I possessed were my title and position. That did give me some authority, but it was at the lowest level of influence. People would follow my leadership based on the rights I was given. That meant I could delegate tasks within my limited authority. So I used my position to delegate people who would help me, and I started working to equip people. You got to see this stuff, guys. You got to understand this stuff. He said it himself. At the beginning, he lacked credibility. He lacked respect. But he used what he had access to and he leveraged it. Very important. Another way to become an empowering leader. Number 2, he says relationships. Relationships, be secure enough to give your power away, right? Type a 1 in the chat box if you're the type of person that likes to do it all yourself because you feel like no one else could do it better than you. If you're that type of person, I was like that too, right? I was like that as well. All right. But this is what John C. Maxwell says. He says, if you want to maintain a long-term professional relationship with people and be able to empower them, you must be respected and liked. If the people who work with you respect you but don't like you, they will stay with you until they find a leader they respect and like. Listen to this, okay? Listen to this. It's so important. He said, if the people who work with you respect you but don't like you, they will stay with you only until they find a leader they respect and like. On the other hand, if they like you but don't respect you, they will be your friends, but they won't follow you. Developing both gives you the authority to empower to do that. You need to be secure enough to give others power. So you got to understand, guys, you got to give people the power to go out there and do certain things, but they got to be ready for it. You don't just give it to anybody. All right. I can't just put anybody on Mornings with Neno. Notice how the people that I've put on Mornings with Neno, they were ready to be on Mornings with Neno. Okay. I'm secure enough to give away the power of having people to get on my calls. Why? Because they're ready for it. I'm secure enough. I've put all types of individuals. I put 7-figure earners and all the way down to leaders that I'm developing. You guys have heard from Mikey. He's been on Mornings with Neno. But the only reason I put him on here is because I know that he's ready. Because I've developed him. I've worked with him. I've seen him put the work in. Okay. And I know that the relationship that I have with Mikey is solid. Okay. Solid. So I'm secure enough to give him the power. But do you have people in your life that you can give power to? Do you have that? Do you have people that can come in and take your place just in case you can't be there tomorrow? If something were to happen to you today, do you have people that can come in and take your spot and be able to run a business just the same way you run your business? He says this, the greatest leaders aren't necessarily the ones who do the greatest things. They are the ones who empower others to do great things. To do that, leaders need to be willing to give up center stage. They must give up the need to be needed by others. Instead, they must cheer on the people they empower when they succeed. not feel threatened by their success. They must point to the victories of others and celebrate their successes. That's what secure relational leaders do. You give power to others. I let people jump on Mornings with Neno. I've let Mikey jump on Mornings with Neno. And guess what? We celebrated after. Great job, brother. You killed it. One of a kind. So many different individuals that I've allowed jump on this call and kill it. Right? Because I'm willing to give up what? The center stage. They must give up the need to be needed by others, and instead they must cheer on the people they empower when they succeed. This is what it's all about. So when it comes to empowering people in your organization, guys, you got to know how to put people in position to win. And remember, if they are not yet ready, make sure that moving forward, every call that you do, they're right there next to you. Yo, come, you're going to shadow me this week, because next week you're going to do this. Next week, you're going to do this call. Next week, I want you to run this training. Appreciate you, MJ. Hit me up. You got to know this and you got to understand this stuff. There's times that I create a schedule for my organization and my team, and I'm only on the schedule 2 times out of the week, and there's probably like 12, 15 calls, because I let the people within my organization start to grow. I don't want to be the center stage. I want to give my leaders and the people around me the center stage. I want to give people the power to do something, the power to run their first call, the power to run their first training. Very important. Okay, that was number 2. And then last but not least, it's environment. All right. Create a place where empowered leaders can rise up. Type a 3 in the chat box if Mornings with Neno is a place where leaders can rise up. Right? This is it. This is it. If you guys see and understand, right? I've become an empowered leader even before I learned these 3 keys right here. I have the credibility. I'm secure enough to give my power away. And I've created a place where people can rise up, where people can become better, where individuals can develop themselves. He says, most people are unaware of the possibilities that lie within them. Good leaders introduce the people they lead to those wonderful possibilities. You got to understand this. As a leader, you can help people rise up, grow, and reach their full potential. If you function in an organization that values and promotes empowerment, you may find creating this kind of environment relatively easy because it's already a part of the culture. However, if your organization doesn't have that kind of positive culture, you can still work to create space for your people to rise up by promoting and facilitating empowerment. Take a look at the 7 characteristics of an empowerment environment and note how many of them describe your organization or team. So important. Very, very key. All right. So these right here are the 3 keys to becoming an empowering leader. You got to do this stuff and you have to understand this stuff. All right. Because once I understood this stuff, it made all the difference. It makes all the difference. When you create these kind of things, when you earn your respect, when you build the relationships and you create the environments, everything changes, fam. You'll be able to give people the power to do things that they never thought they could do. And if you become a better empowered leader, you'll be able to help people do things that they've never done so they can get things they've never had. Think about it. We're in a people business. Our whole business is based on empowering people. But you can't empower people if you haven't earned the respect, if you haven't built the relationships, and if you haven't created the environments for it. Earn the respect, build the relationships, and create the environments, and watch how you, brother and sister, become an empowering leader. All right. If you guys got value from today's call, type some 333s in the chat box. If you